Wednesday, it's Tuesday, but tonight we have a special segment. We are hanging out, and David Durante, Olympic team member from Gymnastics, is co-hosting with us tonight.
How you doing, everybody? It's nice to be here. Thank you, Lenore, for having me on.
No, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule.
No problem at all. No problem.
Because last week the snow was horrendous. You got wild, right?
Awful. I've never seen this much snow before, and I've been away for quite some time, but that first snowstorm we had a couple weeks ago was ridiculous. We had like 3 foot, and they weren't even drifts. They were just straight up 3 feet of snow in my backyard. And there's just mounds of it back there. I don't know, we're going to have snow in the backyard around until July, I think, this year.
Did you build a snowman?
No, I didn't want to go outside. I shoveled once and I was like, snow is so much cooler when you're a kid.
No tubing? No skiing?
No, my knees can't take that kind of stuff anymore. I just had recent knee surgery, so I can't even enjoy the snow the way that I used to when I was younger.
Oh, but you're not old.
No, I'm not old. I actually feel pretty young, but my knees are pretty beat up.
They don't seem beat up.
Thank you, thank you. 3 knee surgeries, so.
You had 3 knee surgeries?
3 torn ACLs, yep. ACL, MCL. My first one was actually my first day at Stanford, my freshman year. Got off the plane so excited to go to California, from Jersey kid going all the way to California. Get off the plane, go in the gym. My first turn, I fell and blew out my knee. ACL, MCL. A really stupid skill in gymnastics. I actually fell on palm horse. If anybody knows.
What?
Just dumb skill. I just slipped, and when I fell, my knee kind of twisted.
If you fell in circles, then that's really bad.
It was actually pretty simple. Something dumb that shouldn't have happened, but I blew it out. Huge pop. Had surgery the first week after I got there.
Oh my gosh.
Recovered for a while, and 10 years later, blew it out again, right before the Olympics, 6 months before the Olympics. And had the surgery right after I got back from Beijing.
You competed with your knee messed up?
Yeah, I didn't tell anybody that I had torn it. And then I actually tore the other one, living abroad last year, skiing in Austria. I tore it. That was actually a pretty funny story. I never skied before because I was worried about screwing up my knees. And I went out to Austria to go visit a friend of mine. I was like, alright, my career is over. I'm going to finally give skiing a shot. I get out to Austria. My friend takes me up. Innsbruck, Austria is where they had
because everyone just goes to Austria to go skiing.
I know. I was like, alright, if I'm going to go skiing for the first time, let me go someplace, unique. So this guy's parents are ski instructors. I trusted him to take me up there. I get up to the top of the mountain, and I realize this is where they have, Olympic Games. This is not quite a bunny slope.
Okay.
So I get to the top, and I'm like, hey, I came all across the country, all across the world to try skiing for the first time. I get up there, and I'm like, let's go. Within 5 minutes, I fell and blew out my knee. On the first run.
Was it like a black diamond thing, or was it?
It was pretty vertical. It really was not a ski slope that you want to try for your first time skiing. Honestly, I think it might have been less than 5 minutes. I fell, blew it out. Not even. And we called the ski patrol to come pick me up, and they're like,
oh my gosh.
They're like, we can't come pick you up. You gotta figure out a way to come down. I was like, I can't move. My knee was like swinging to the side. So I actually walked back up the mountain and took the lift back down.
You walked?
Yeah, I walked back up the lift with my knee blown out. Yeah.
So you have a lot of friends around the world then?
I do, absolutely.
What's the coolest place you visited?
It's hard to say. The last year I took 30 trips. Rome was home base. I have Italian citizenship, so Rome was my home base. And every week or two I would take another trip around Europe, or I went to Australia. I've been for the United States. I competed in 17 different countries, and then over the past year I've seen another, 15 countries in the past year.
Okay, what country have you not been to that you want to go to?
I want to go to New Zealand.
Why?
Because I'm a big beach surf guy. I love that kind of lifestyle, and New Zealand has exactly what I'm looking for in that. And South American countries. I've only been to Dominican Republic, and I've been to Brazil twice for competitions, but there's a lot of South American countries that I want to go check out.
I hear the Brazil teams and the South American teams are really good.
They're getting better. Europe is huge, and obviously China and Japan are the ones to beat.
Duh.
They are the kings of the sport. And I mean, United States obviously we're
we are good.
We are. Past 8 years we've been pretty solid.
Okay, well we're going to be coming up, so stay tuned. If you want to talk to David Durante, call 858-956-2128, or if you blew out a knee. Or if you went skiing and you fell within the first 5 minutes, call now. See, and you live around here and you haven't been here yet?
I've been gone for the past 12 years.
Yeah, but you haven't been gone. Have you really been gone?
Yeah. 7 years in California, 4.5 years in Colorado, and a year in Italy.
Okay, you were 7 years for Stanford, right?
Well,
no.
I went to college there. Yep.
Yes.
And then I was there another 2 years while I was training for the Athens Games, 2004.
Okay.
So I was volunteer assistant coach after I graduated, 2 years. Then I moved to the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs for 4.5 years, for Beijing.
Okay.
And then after I left Colorado Springs, I moved back to Stanford for another year, and I coached the team, and we won the national championship, first time in 14 years. And then I moved to Italy right after that season was over, and I just moved back to the United States 4 months ago.
That's it?
Yep.
So you would hopping from house to state to state to
yeah,
country
I've
to
been
country?
moving quite a bit for the past 12 years, yeah. Absolutely.
And you have a day named after you up here, right?
I have 2 days named after me. Yeah.
2 days?
Yeah. I have one in my town, March 23rd is Dave Durante Day.
And is that in Westfield, Cranford, or
Garwood.
Garwood.
Yep. And
Okay.
then I had Union County named the day after me as well. September 9th. So I have 2 days. And actually September 9th is my brother's birthday, so now I get to celebrate his birthday, my birthday together. I get
my brother was
2
telling
days.
me that.
He was upset about that. Yeah, I mean, you were telling me that earlier, and it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, gymnastics kind of comes with the territory of those kind of injuries.
No, but it was really funny. Like, it was
That's
bad.
funny?
No.
Your brother get hurt, spot?
No, okay. But you don't know my brother. Okay, so he was on the floor. He got hurt on the floor. I don't even know what he was doing. Maybe he was doing a layout or a backflip or something. And he came down on his shoulder, so they saran wrapped his whole entire body with ice. That looks funny. Yeah, he still competed.
He competed?
Yeah, he competed.
That's what I'm talking about. That's a real gymnast right
I don't
there.
know how he did. I think he's okay.
That's right. We competed on a broken shoulder. That's already impressive.
Okay, apparently my brother plays 8.
All right, see that?
So,
You gotta give some props to your brother for doing that.
Give some props
Come
for
on.
that. So this might not sound nice or whatever, but what's the biggest wipeout you've had? Because I'm not saying that you did have wipeouts, but everybody has that
that's
one.
part of the sport.
Yeah, that has that one major like either you fall off the high bar and you're trying to catch back on, and then you just go flat.
To be honest, that's exactly. As soon as you asked me that, the one skill popped in my head. It was the most painful thing that's ever happened to me. I've blown out knees, I've broken bones, all that stuff. This one injury was absolutely the most painful. I was doing a release move on high bar in Colorado Springs, working a new skill. It's called the Coleman.
Okay.
It's a double back over the bar. You release the bar,
And then you catch back on.
and then you do a full twist in the air while you're doing the double back, and then you re-catch the bar.
And you fell.
And I caught with one hand, and I missed with the other. The other one caught underneath my grip, and I peeled underneath and flung away from the bar. And I was in a pit.
This is not good to laugh. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's pretty funny now. I mean, now that it's over. But there's a pit, so you feel pretty secure. But there was an edge of the pit that wasn't covered by a mat. It was about maybe 8 inches, and I landed right on that concrete edge, and I tore all of the fascia on both of my feet. Basically, the bottom of your foot, I tore all of that on both of my feet. So it was awful. My feet were like purple. I was in a wheelchair for a couple weeks. It was miserable.
While you're at OTC.
Yeah, while I lived at the training center.
But even with all these wipeouts and the setbacks, you never gave up.
Absolutely not. I mean, from when I was very young, I always knew that I had a drive that was different than other people because I wasn't the most talented kid. So I had to figure out a way to kind of catch guys that were more talented than me. So that came from me working harder. I would stay later than everybody else. I would come in earlier. I would leave later. Yeah, I would sleep in the gym. I had a key myself to the gym when I was growing up here, and I would go and work out by myself 6 in the morning before school by myself, no coaches.
That's dedication.
Yeah, it's
it's like real dedication.
Yeah, it's passion. For me, gymnastics was what I wanted to do. It was something that I really felt if I gave everything I had, I could achieve some pretty high-level things with it. And I wanted to get a college scholarship. I wanted to compete for a college team, make a national team, make a world team. And all these goals along the way, you kind of separate yourself. And as you start achieving them, they become more realistic, the harder goals. So,
but you achieved them.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of them. I postponed my retirement quite a few times because I wanted to see really how far I could go with the sport. And when Beijing rolled around, I was 28. I was the old man on the team.
And you were that old on the team?
For the team. I was the old man on the team.
Who was the youngest?
I think John Horton was the youngest.
How old was he?
Beijing, 23? 23? Yeah, probably 23. Right around there. I think he's about 25 now. Yeah. He was the young guy, and he was a rock star. He killed it at the Olympics. But, yeah, they used to call me the old man, but I was the veteran.
You're not an old man.
For the sport of gymnastics, I am. It's tough to kind of continue the sport when you get to a certain age. Beijing. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I was in the best shape of my life. but it just took more to get there. When I was in college, when I just got out of college, I was eating like a slob. You know, I could eat whatever I wanted, and I didn't put on too much weight, and you know, I didn't lead a very healthy lifestyle.
Like you'd actually put on weight being a gymnast.
Oh yeah, we used to get fat tested at the training center once a month, and
Really?
they used to put the fat tests up on the wall for everybody to see, and it was charted, so everybody saw kind of where everybody, if somebody was losing fat or gaining fat. So it was always a kind of a touchy subject, even in men's gymnastics. You have to watch your weight pretty closely.
So they have asked the question, what was it, the favorite place that you competed?
Yeah, favorite place I've competed.
The favorite country?
Yeah, I mean,
City?
Olympic trials in Philadelphia was awesome because...
That's the U.S.
I know, well, it was more the atmosphere. I had 400 family and friends there in the stands.
Really? Like 400?
Yeah, it was pretty obnoxious, actually, and they were all wearing jersey T-shirts and stuff, so it was... they could be pointed out in the stands, but I had a really large contingent there, and that was awesome to be able to compete for my last competition, my last official competition in front of my hometown, you know. So that was awesome, but probably the most memorable was Rio, competing at Pan American Games 2007 in Rio, because they had so much anger for the United States team that 19,000 people just every routine booing like crazy. I've never heard that loud of boos before.
Booed you?
Booed, and every time there was a mistake or a fall, they would cheer like crazy. Cheer like I've never heard. After a while, we were just laughing. We were like, "This is hilarious." They apologized. All the Brazilian Federation and stuff apologized for their fans, but it was funny to us. We were like, "Wow, they really are getting into their gymnastics."
What about the team though? Like, was the team just?
No, the team's cool. It was just the fans not liking the United States at that time, but it was definitely memorable, that's for sure.
So you do have dual citizenship, I'm right?
Yes, I do. I'm an Italian citizen and an American citizen.
Were you living with did you go, like, with your family while you were out there?
My family has an apartment there, so I live by myself in an apartment in Rome.
Oh, it's not like you have your grandparents or your cousins and stuff?
It was where my dad grew up, and no one lives there now, and we just kept it in the family, so whenever we go back, we have a place to stay in Rome, and so I used it for myself while I lived there last year.
So when I was there in the 7th grade, I didn't go with my parents. My grandma brought me along with her brother, and her sister-in-law. So I was like 12. No, I was like 13. I was like 12, 13, going around with like my grandma. I was like, this is fun. But we did a tour. Everything was nice, though. I liked going into the Coliseum. You might have not watched this, but when I went to Rome and I went to Italy, I always wanted that Lizzie McGuire experience. You know that?
One of my favorite movies is Big Lebowski. And that might be a little bit, it's a Coen Brothers movie with Jeff Bridges as this bowler kind of loser guy, and it's just hilarious. It's absolutely one of my favorite movies of all time. I can watch that movie every day. It's so funny. I know basically every line of the movie.
So we're gonna go down what happened. What happened at the Olympics? What went down?
It was pretty complicated, actually. Pretty complicated, actually. The Olympics came down to 6-man team, and there were 3 alternates. I was one of the 3 alternates. I was one of the original.
Which is a great accomplishment.
Thank you very much. Hoping to be the guys, but on the floor with the guys. That's kind of how our system works. We have a selection committee in place, so it doesn't go straight by scores. So you can be the second guy in the all-around and still not be picked for the team. It's a little bit different than some other sports. So team-based, they need certain guys. They need certain guys. The 3 count is the way. The 3 count is the way. It's a little complicated the way that our system works. You want to put the best team out there. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the second all-rounder is the best option. So they when picked the top 6 guys, when they thought were the top 6 guys, would give us the best opportunity to win a medal. And I was one of the 3 alternates. And I was one of the 3 alternates. First time they don't take 3 alternates. Unfortunately, 2 of our guys got 2 Hom brothers right before the Olympics.
I know, I saw that. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, rarely do you have one person get hurt. So 2 weeks out before we left for Beijing, international championships in full out, and they added one of the other alternates. And then the day before opening ceremony, pulled out while we were in Beijing, and me and the other alternate, Sasha had to do a couple other routines at the Chinese Olympic Training Center, and the selection committee had to choose between one of the two of us, and they picked him to go in. So normally you go through one selection process. You go through one selection process to find out whether or not you're going to compete at the Olympic Games. I went through 4. Each one is very draining process. It takes a lot out of you. You train your whole life for this one moment. You train your whole life for this one moment, and guys telling you whether or not your dream is coming true. So you're standing across the table from them. So you're standing across the table from them, and you get through that once, and you get through that once 4 times. It's great, but 4 times it's challenging.
Can be pretty well-rounded, and there's things that kids might not know that they wish they would have done in their future. And your website, and this whole program, do tell.
Right, yeah, so when over the last couple of years since I retired, I wanted to figure out a way to pass on a lot of the information that I've learned over the years as an athlete at the elite level. And I considered writing a book, but it kind of fell through. But one of my old Stanford advisors kind of gave me the idea to transfer the book idea into a program to actually work with groups and work with individuals on trying to figure out a game plan to pass on the information on a more individual basis. So the program is called Balance Champion, and the website is www.balancechampion.com. And the idea behind the program is to tackle all of these different issues that athletes really don't take into consideration, like I was saying, until you get to an elite level where you have sports psychologists available, where you have therapists and doctors and all these people kind of giving you these tips. But at that point, it's like, you're at the elite level. I was like, man, I wish I could have had some of these things when I was younger. If I would have been able to incorporate them when I was in high school, maybe I would have been a little bit further ahead than I am now. So I'm trying to kind of make all that information a little bit more accessible to the next generation, whether it be, mental training tips, all the things that I used along the way that really helped me get over those mental. I kept saying to myself, man, I wish I would have had this kind of information when I was younger. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to pass on some information to the next generation, hope that they're kind of get a leg up. They kind of can get a leg up and move past some of those barriers at a quicker pace. As well as balancing like schools and other sports as well, right? Absolutely, yeah. So it's not just about being an athlete, it's about being a student athlete. That's what the program is as well. And yeah, so it's invading the rest of the country. Invading the rest of the country. So when you did come back, you were doing some modeling for Victoria's Secret, right? Did they run that show? I wouldn't say I was actually modeling. I was in the show, yeah. Well, if you're in the show, you're runway modeling-ish. Yeah, I was on the runway. I was definitely on the runway. It was awkward? Awkward, no. Fantastic, yes. You weren't afraid to, walk down with, no shirt on in front of everybody, just doing your thing? I mean, we did rehearsals, nonstop for 5 days to the point where it was just, we had it down pat. And, I've performed so much over the years that it was pretty... you can't really see who's in the crowd. Actually, Carson was sitting right in front of me. Really? I could see her as soon as I went out to the crowd, despite the performance. But, you get comfortable performing in front of 100 people, in front of 1 million people. It doesn't really matter if you're ready, you're ready. But having the most beautiful women in the world kind of walk by you with, no shirt on and trying to do this performance is definitely tough. Yeah. But I wouldn't pass up the opportunity to ever do it again. It was pretty incredible. Did you ever think about doing modeling? No, I don't really. I don't know. I've done some stuff just leading up to the Olympics and stuff. I've done some magazine stuff in Men's Hockey Times and Believe It or Not Live magazine and so stuff like that I've done leading up to the Olympics just as, athlete who's done something like that. But in terms of straight up modeling, not so much. You don't want to? I don't really think I'm capable of it. What's your site again so everybody else could... It's balancechampion.com. BALANCED champion.com. And they can contact you and you write about stuff. And yeah, they can contact me directly through the site and, we can work on an individual basis or through group settings. I've done some group type stuff with mental training, stuff like that. So whatever your interests are in getting better as an athlete, I can do my best to help you out with it. Hey, well, I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. My pleasure. Thank you very much for having me on. So if you guys have missed any of this or you want to rewatch it, just archive it where you are. The video should be up on YouTube in a week. And check out, it'll be on my website, www.teamdrivenmove.com. You can check everything out there. Show, right? Yeah, an art show. I guess to be part of an art show in Venice, Venice Biennale, which is an art festival held every 2 years, kind of considered the Olympics of the art world. And this year's representative from the United States wants to incorporate gymnastics and performers into his exhibit. So if you're going to be in Venice from June through November, go check out the American exhibit at the American Pavilion and go check out some American athletes performing. It's pretty impressive exhibit.
And there was something else you were telling me, right? Or was that it?
Yeah, that was all about the Vietnam. It's a pretty unique event.
And what are you going to be actually doing?
Creating the routine and kind of finding the performers and kind of creating the routine that goes along with this artist concept.
That's so good.
All right.
So I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us today on Tuesday, not a Wednesday.
Thank you very much again.